What's going on, guys? Today I'm doing a review for Halo 5 Guardians on the Xbox One. Now, Halo is one of my favorite series. I've been playing it since the first game came out on the original Xbox. It's actually why I got an Xbox in the first place. Originally, I loved it for the campaign and the campaign co-op. And eventually, as time went on and Xbox Live blew up, I got into the multiplayer as well. So expectations are high for the first Halo on the Xbox One. Can 343 live up to these expectations? Let's find out. So the basic story of Halo 5 Guardians is you are playing as Spartan Locke, the leader of Fire Team Osiris, a Spartan team that is dispatched to find out what the Master Chief is up to. He's disobeyed direct orders to return to base. You're not too sure of what the situation is, so you're trying to track him down and stop him and bring him in and figure out what the hell's going on. Now you'll also play as Master Chief and his team, where the Chief will get a message from an old friend, and it will kind of be a warning. He's not really too sure what to make of it, but he wants to follow up on it. He's told by the UNSC to return to base. They'll take care of it, but he disobeys that order and goes out after it. So for the majority of the game, you're playing as Locke, and that is an important thing to note. You are playing as Locke the majority of the game. There is not that much Master Chief in this game, which will disappoint some. But you're basically following in his footsteps, trying to keep up with him and figure out what's going on. And I'm trying to be as vague as possible, just to avoid any story spoilers. It ends up being an okay story. I'm interested to see where it goes. The game does end on a cliffhanger as well, which kind of sucks, but it's definitely worth a playthrough. And if you're not very familiar with Halo canon outside of the base games, then you may be a little lost as well. But it was fun, diverse. It lasted about 10 to 12 hours. I played through on Legendary Solo my first time, which was pretty rough. But the level design in the game is great, and that's what makes it fun. It goes from tight corridors on spaceships to just huge open battlefields. You can hop in tanks, ghosts, warthogs, Banshees. There's new Promethean ships as well, and you're rewarded for exploring these battlefields. There's hidden paths all around. You can break down walls and take shortcuts and even bypass some fights, or there'll just be some power weapons hidden somewhere. So it's great to explore these maps, find new things, see different ways you can tackle these big firefights, or even possibly just skip them if you can, because sometimes that's the better option. There's also hidden intel to shed a little more light on the story, and of course skulls, which you can then use as gameplay modifiers if you want to go back in and play the campaign. And one of the big selling points for the campaign is the 4-player co-op. This is a new thing for Halo. Usually it's had 2-player co-op. You could either split screen it or play online. Now they've upped it to 4, but you can no longer play split screen, which is a huge disappointment for any Halo fan. I think everyone that owns a Halo game has played through a campaign split screen. So it's pretty disappointing they couldn't figure out a way to bring that back. Hopefully for the next one they do. If you aren't playing with anyone, then you're playing with AI teammates. And they're a little iffy. You can control them. You can tell them where to shoot, to get in vehicles. And honestly, you need to remember to do this, otherwise they're pretty much useless. And they can also revive you when you go down. But unfortunately they're a little too dumb to not stand in the open. If you're kind of in cover, they'll usually pick the worst possible place to stand and just die. So at times they're helpful, other times it's frustrating, but they're functional. 343 also did a really good job of rebalancing the guns as well. There are some guns in all Halo games that feel just kind of useless and you'd never use them, but in this they made everything feel like it has a purpose and can be used. For example, the suppressor that was in Halo 4 originally, it was kind of just like a useless SMG that was a Promethean weapon that you'd pick up when you had nothing else. But now it has homing rounds. I think it does a little bit more damage and just seems way more effective, and it's something I found myself using throughout the game. And this is true for pretty much every weapon. There wasn't ever a weapon that I was disappointed to find. In a game like this, the gun balance matters. They all feel, look, and sound great. So the campaign's good. It's definitely worth playing through. A lot of time was put into it, and the level design. It's a lot of fun. It's even more fun with friends, so I definitely recommend getting your little fire team together and blasting through it.
Initiating Warzone simulation. Hold bases, take down bosses, and eliminate enemy Spartans to earn points. Prometheans have broken through our defenses and our base is in lockdown. Eliminate them to secure our home base. Let's support those Marines, Spartan.
So the big new mode for Halo 5 Guardians is called Warzone. This is a giant multiplayer game. It's 12 people on each team, and you guys are facing off against each other, as well as enemy AI that's on the battlefield. Basically in this, you are trying to reach 1,000 points first. You earn points by capturing bases that are on the battlefield, killing enemy Spartans, and then there's also AI bosses that will randomly appear throughout the match that are worth a pretty sizable amount of points depending on how tough they are. So as you're playing, your team has what's called a rec level, and the more good things you do to earn points for your team, the faster this level goes up for everyone. And each level unlocks tiers of weapons or vehicles, so the higher level you are, the more powerful weapons or vehicles you can bring in. And you have a set number of points that you earn over time as well, so you can't just spawn in the best vehicle, like a Scorpion tank, over and over. There's a cooldown time where you have to build back up your rec score. It's a great mode to play with friends. It's a lot of fun. It's something that I think casual players can hop into before the arena, since that's a little more competitive. It feels very balanced. There'll be times where your team's getting assaulted with all kinds of vehicles or power weapons, and then you can turn it around on the enemy. So there's kind of a little bit of a strategy of when you're going to burn your rec points and use them up. Whether you're going to spawn with a rocket launcher to fight against the tanks, or you want to bring in your own tank. I love that there's multiple ways to win this game. You can either go about capturing the majority of the bases that are on the battlefield and earning bonus points that way, or you could pretty much just ignore the bases if your team's good enough and take down the AI bosses, since they can be worth a huge amount of points. I was in a game where I think we were losing 900 to 600, and 2 bosses spawned, we killed both of them, we tied the game up, and then we came back for the win. So there's multiple ways to win it. Your team has to be working together. It takes a lot of coordination to be truly successful in this game mode, which can be a problem depending on who has a mic on. But it's definitely fun. It's addictive. I'm a little disappointed that you do have to rely on opening rec packs, which I'll talk about shortly, to get certain items. For example, I got a Scorpion tank in one and used it because I thought it was cool and I thought it was permanently unlocked. Unfortunately, it's not, so now when other people are calling in a tank, I just have to kind of sad face and hope that I eventually get another one, since it is a rare drop. But there's plenty of fun to be had if you're playing alone or with friends. It's definitely a new mode that I think will keep people interested in the game, and I'm interested to see which maps they bring in and if they play with the game modes a little bit and change some things up. Overall, Warzone ends up being a great addition to Halo 5, something I expect to see in future games, and would love to see more maps and some variety on the gameplay modes added to it. And finally, we have the Arena, which is Halo 5's competitive multiplayer. Games are 4-on-4. There's a variety of game modes ranging from just Slayer to SWAT, Capture the Flag, Strongholds, and a new mode called Breakout. Now the game feels and plays great. It looks beautiful. I love some of the weaponry designs. They've made the pistol a viable primary weapon again. It's good at range if you have the aim for it. Some big changes are they added the ability to sprint constantly. Now the drawback to that is if your shields are low and you're trying to run away from an enemy, your shields do not recharge while you're sprinting, so you have to use it sparingly. They've also added the ability to aim with your weapons. Now this doesn't really add too much of an advantage. It zooms you in a little bit and just kind of gives you a little bit of a scope. Feels like a needed addition to the game and something that I don't think I'd want to play without anymore. Your accuracy isn't improved if you aim or any of that. Your stats stay the same. It just makes it a little bit easier and feel a little more modern while keeping its Halo feel. They've also added the ability to have a jetpack so you can dodge side to side, backwards or forwards. And you can also mantle now, so if you jump towards a ledge, if you hold the jump button, you can grab it and climb up. This makes movement so much nicer and faster. It speeds up the game a little bit. I can't imagine going back to previous Halo games now and playing without it. I did have some trouble with the spawn system in the SWAT playlists. Not so much in the arena. I don't know why the SWAT one felt so off, but there were a lot of times where I was spawning and getting killed within 5 seconds. But again, that was only really in the SWAT playlist. I didn't have too much of a problem in the Team Arena or Team Slayer playlists. And of course you have the choice to make your own custom game types and play those with friends online. But the newest mode is called Breakout. Now this is their most competitive mode. You basically spawn in, you have 1 life, it's 4v4, the object is to eliminate the enemy team or capture the flag that's in the middle of the field. You have no shields, you start with an SMG and a pistol, good luck. This mode is a ton of fun. It's especially great when you're playing with a team of 3 other people that can communicate with you. It's not necessary. I played a bunch of rounds by myself where I think it turned out pretty well. But it's very intense. Your pistol's your best friend in it, as well as finding a battle rifle or DMR rifle. It's definitely a game where clans can plan out where each person's going to go and what part of map they're going to cover and who's going to back them up if they go down. Or something that you could possibly just hop in solo, get with a team of 3, and roll some other teams together. It's just such a simple mode that you feel like it should have been done already, but it hasn't been. So great work by 343 for bringing this to us, and it's definitely something I'm going to be playing a lot of in Halo 5. But the arena as a whole is great. I think 343 did a good job with the multiplayer for right now. All the weapons feel good. The only gripe I had was the spawns and SWAT, which can be updated, and I'm sure 343 will be looking at the notes that people leave in the forums and whatnot, and will be updating the game accordingly. They have already announced that all the map DLC for this will be free, so you don't have to buy any map packs. The only thing you can buy in the game right now is requisition packs, which is how you unlock gear for Warzone or customize your Spartan. So basically you can buy a bronze, silver, or gold rec pack with rec points you earn through playing Arena or Warzone, or you can pay real money for them. I believe the gold pack is $3. But you never really have to pay for that. That is just something that the most impatient person in the world would pay for. And basically these packs will just unlock emblems, stances, all different kinds of armor for your body, head, different visor colors, what stance you want your Spartan to be in when people look at your profile, weapon skins. There's just pretty much an unlimited amount of content. I'm sure more is going to get added as time goes on for free. And then you actually unlock weapons and power-ups for Warzone to use as well, like I said earlier. So it's an interesting system. It's mainly for Warzone. It won't ever really bother you when you're playing Arena unless you just want to change the look of your Spartan a little bit or the camo or your gun. So it doesn't ruin it for those that are looking for the competitive game. And it can give people that are playing Warzone that may be new a little bit of a boost. It's a lot like the sticker system in Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare, if any of you guys ever played that. It's an okay addition. I think it can be a little bit addictive if you're trying to get a certain helmet or piece of gear. But it's so random and there's so many different options that it will take a lot of time and grinding to get everything. But overall, Halo 5 Guardians is a great game. There's something for everyone in this game. There's a fun campaign, which you can play with friends or alone. There's a great multiplayer mode that's suited for casual and competitive gamers in Warzone. And then there's also the Arena, which offers great fun for those that are trying to take their Halo multiplayer to the next level. It is disappointing that there is no split screen in this game. It's something I think they do need to try to bring back in the next one, because that has been a big part of Halo's history. And the story suffered a little bit. It just wasn't told in the best way. It's a little bit confusing, and if you're not familiar with all the Halo lore, you probably will be a little lost, but the best thing about Halo is it makes you want to go out and learn more about this universe. And I'm definitely interested in seeing where they're going with this story. So bring on Halo 6. If you own an Xbox One, there's no reason you shouldn't pick this game up. This is one of the flagship franchises for Xbox, and it's something that everyone should play. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you guys thought of the review and Halo 5 Guardians in the comments below. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe for more gameplay and reviews. I'll be putting up a review of Halo The Fall of Reach animated series that they're releasing alongside this, and at a later date on Blu-ray and DVD. And I'll be putting up some thoughts on the story, doing a little spoiler talk, as well as some tips for the arena. Thanks for watching, guys, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.